welcome back. Good evening. We're going to be playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney uh, once again, and this is going to be part 4. Yes, I did say part 4 because I had it completely wrong. I didn't even know how far I was into streaming different parts of this game at the end of the last one. And well, okay, yeah. So this is part 4, and we're just getting started with episode 3 tonight. Turnabout Serenade. Let's rock! I think I know who that is. A certain prosecutor. We love you! Rock on, everyone. This party's not over yet. Get out your handkerchiefs and so on. And that's right, baby. That's night's just getting started. Thank you for coming to the Governor's Guilty as Charged tour. This ends the first part of tonight's show. There will now be a 20-minute intermission. And someone's gonna get killed. I bet. July 7th, 8:05 p.m. backstage hallway. This is so cool. Us at a Governor's concert. Huh? Did you say something? My ears are still ringing. Governors putting the sick back in music. What I thought Mr. Gavin was really nice. Sending us those tickets at 20% off. They're hard to get a hold of, you know? When you invite people to a concert, it's usually free. Let's head to his dressing room, Apollo. You know, like we're a couple of VIPs. I've always dreamed of being a VIP at a Governor's show. Trucy, you didn't know who Prosecutor Gavin was before that case? What kind of fan doesn't know the lead vocalist's name? Oh, this guy, well, he was more like a prince, really. He let us in. Clavier. What a lovely name. He's so dreamy. Yeah, but I'm a girl. I'm supposed to swoon over gods of rock. God awful, maybe. I bought all their stuff on the way home from the trial. I got 12 Governor's album and 15 concert videos. That was quite a bit of impulse shopping. I got an advance of my next 15 years worth of allowance. For Mr. Wright, that sounds like a real act of generosity. Who would have imagined me here? At a Governor's concert watching Prosecutor Gavin rock. To be honest, it was kind of cool and I'm kind of envious. Not that I'd ever admit that to Trucy. Governor's dressing room. Ah, you made it. Mr. Gavin, thanks so much for the tickets. And backstage pass, from the looks of it. And the invoice you sent along with them. You were incredible up on stage, Mr. Gavin. Nothing like music to brighten the mood after a trial, yeah? And we're almost ready for our next act. I'm looking forward to it myself. La Miroir singing, right? The siren of the ballad? Oh yeah, the flyer said she flew all the way over for this show. That's right, I happened to catch her show while overseas. Her voice is divine. I knew I had to invite her to perform with us. La Miroir said, you praised me too highly. Wow, who's this guy? He's huge. Allow me to introduce Mr. Romain Latouze. La Miroir's manager and her interpreter, incidentally. This is a great honor for us to be here, and a great honor for La Miroir to be heard in this country. She speaks in, what? Maya? That voice, I wish I could understand it. It's beautiful. Okay. Oh, it's La Miroir. I'm actually meeting La Miroir. Whatever. Is it supposed to be French? La Miroir? Mysterious songstress. Her quiet, deep song glides through the air, lilting above a sparse but elegant piano accompaniment. Now this is music. She's a real artist. No idea. La Miroir says, we have long looked forward to this joint performance. Let me roar, your voice. It is art. Yet without this piano to guide me, it is but a voice. I've seen this kid somewhere before. He plays piano at all of Lamoureux's concerts. He's cute, and he's a really good pianist. Good pianists are a dying breed, I hear. Allow me to introduce Machito Bai, however you pronounce that. He is blind. This is why he never strays far from Lamoureux. They are always together. They're like characters from some fairy tale. Lamoureux's so, what's that word? Exotic and mysterious. She does seem quite pretty, at least her eyes do. Hers is a kind of sightseeing musique. Huh? She travels the globe putting the sights she sees into song. Even though her appearance and voice are exotic, her songs remind us of something close and warm. Sights into song? That's so poetic. She was gracious enough to put music to my lyrics tonight. The Guitar Serenade. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait. And now it is time. For the next part, we're giving the Gaviners' hard rock a little rest. Lamoureux, the stage is yours. For all intents and purposes, she could be speaking like Taz the Tasmanian Devil. You don't know what she sounds like. The band members will not play during Lamoureux's ballad. Only Machi's tender tones and Lamoureux's dulcet voice. And my guitar, of course. Woohoo! Nights like this make it all worthwhile, you know? I should have learned to play the guitar. There's not much romance in Chords of Steel. Shall we hit the stage then? Good luck, Mr. Gavin. Take care your hearts aren't stolen away, yeah? Let's get back to the concert hall, Polly. There's no way I can sing that. Ooh, FMV. You could put the lyrics to the music. I mean, the amount, the number of syllables, it works. What the heck? His guitar literally was set on fire. He's there in the background trying to put out the fire. Well, that was something. Wow, wasn't Lamoureux amazing? I even cried a little. Spontaneous combustion, high RNG. Yeah, that it could be described that way. I was surprised Prosecutor Gavin actually burned his guitar. This game got 10 times much better. Yeah, that even surprised me, and I'm a magician. What a production. What a destruction. I don't think Prosecutor Gavin was expecting it either, oddly. He looked as surprised as I was. Is that what they call risking life and limb for art? I think he's my new hero. I'm not sure I'd call that art. Well, what are we doing here? Let's get going to Mr. Gavin's dressing room. There's 20 minutes till the last part of the show. How many breaks does this band need? I've never heard of a band needing so many breaks in a concert. What the heck was that? I was never consulted about it. Sorry, Mr. Caven, sir. I've asked the man in charge. I play new rock, not great balls of fire. Speaking of fire, I have a good mind to fire whoever is responsible. He seems upset. Well, I understand him. The Bull of Justice, were you the one who tried to torch me? Hey, I didn't do it. So much for risking your life for art. The guitar serenade is ruined. Ruined! Well, let's try to talk to him at least. I'm not sure that's the best move right now. Where's my stylus? There we go. What's that? The police uniform hangs on the stand here. Oh, I want to try it on. Nothing to see here. Move along. It's okay. You don't have to go that far to be special. I mean, you're not exactly the type who's just another face in the crowd. Really? You think so? I guess you're right. Now I feel like a meanie for making that insinuation. Someone drew the Gaviners' mark in lipstick here. Lipstick? I'd like to wear lipstick someday. Oh? You don't use lipstick yet, Trucy? Daddy won't let me. Not until I learn to play piano, he says. You'll be waiting a long time then, I'm afraid. Oh! A cruiser guitar. They sold those to commemorate 5 years of the band. Rocking it hard, under the speed limit. There's a cruiser bass, and a cruiser drum set, and a cruiser keyboard. Even a cruiser whistle. I'm not so sure about that last one. It's for blowing the whistle on criminals. I don't think that requires an actual whistle, Trucy. Why is that plastic ball of stew sitting there? Maybe they use it for interrogating bad guys. Fess up to what you did, and we'll let you eat that stew. That's just mean. It gets worse. See, if the bad guy confesses, they say, okay, eat it, if you can. See, it's made of plastic. It's like you don't know which ones are the real bad guys. I think you need to take a deep breath, Trucy. Gloves? Those are some pretty heavy-duty gloves. Maybe they have to carry around hot pots or something. They are a little thick. I couldn't even stuff a pigeon in those. That's exactly what I was thinking. Another guitar? That guitar! That's the legendary AA 400, the Red Badger. I thought rock was supposed to be rebellious, not civic. Every aspiring guitarist wants one of these. They even paint their own guitars to look like it. Ah, the fickleness of youth. You should dye your hair badger red too. I like my hair the way it is, thank you very much. Ah, the stubbornness of age. A coffee making machine? Or what, a poster? What's a police recruitment poster doing here? Rock on, with the police. Maybe they're trying to trick kids into thinking the police are some kind of band. But that's just silly. Who'd name a band the Police? Ahem. Ahem. Rudy hype. Trucy is cute. Yeah, she's cute indeed. Hi, Panda. This place is decorated like a high school dance. Though, I think our decorations were paper, not chains. The Gaviners are into chains. It's part of their image. Huh. No kidding. Ever since they used chains on the cover art for Gonna Lock You Up, they're really into the whole police thing, aren't they? It'd be cooler if they turned that red light on. They don't have to turn on the red light. They're gonna keep going with those references to the police. That was from Roxanne. You don't have to put on the red lights, Roxanne. Okay. A speaker looks familiar. Oh, yeah, like the one for the PA system back in school. Oh, we have one of those in my classroom too. That's right, she's still in junior high. I feel old. She's still in junior high at 15? I don't know, that sounds like she should have started senior high at least. Okay. Well, let's talk to him. about the flaming guitar. You mean the guitar that wasn't part of the act? Part of the act? Who'd burn up a guitar on purpose? But it worked really well with the lyrics just then. Burning on my heart, fire, burn my love away, all away. Wait, you think the audience thought it was? Sounds like you got lucky. They probably thought it was part of the act. At least I did. He got lucky and he didn't realize it. Anyway, that guitar was the Ferrari of guitars. All the speed, all the sound, and all the price. If I burned one of those at every show, I'd go broke. Unusually frugal for a rock band. Try saying that to Mr. Gavin. Achtung! Today's been one disaster after another. My hug won't run, my guitar case is broken. Daddy told me there'd be days like these. Wasn't Lamira's song incredible? You worked on it too, right, Mr. Gavin? Ah, yes, thanks. It was a collaboration. I wrote the lyrics and she wrote the melody. You know, I was surprised she could sing in English. I'm sure she practiced a long time for this day. Ah, here. That's the lyrics, I guess. Lyrics sheet, it's yours. Signed by myself and Lamira. Yippee! Thanks so much, a collector's item. All I ever get to sign are client defense agreements. Lyrics sheet added to the court record. Almost time for the third act of the night. Oh, there's more? Yes, Lamira's part is done. Now it's time for us to drop our groove again, yeah? Hope you're ready to catch it. Woohoo! Ready, Apollo? I think I'll pass. Eh? I like the bit with Lamira, but the rest could use a volume knob. Turned way down. Apollo, you're getting old. Yeah, as Lemmy Kilmister would say, if it's too loud for you, then you're too old. That's the late singer of Motorhead, if you didn't know. Okay. If it's too loud for you, you're too old. Does 22 qualify as old to a 15-year-old? Well, I'm going. Let the old folks rest backstage, yeah? Time to rock. Hey, you're older than I am. Move. Backstage hallway. Hey, it's you! That right, kid? Detective Sky. I'll let that right kid business pass. Call me Emma. There's no need for titles once you've shared a bottle of fingerprinting powder. Well, that's a new one. So, Emma, what are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm snacking. You think I want to be here? Me, in charge of security in this pit. Security? Did something happen? There's no knowing what that glimmerous fop. Apparently he's all upset because something was stolen. He wanted security back here during the concert. Where does he get off acting like he's some big rock star? He is a big rock star. Hey, you listening to me? So, where's the store here lead to? This one? That's Lamira's dressing room. Don't even think of going in there unless you want a piece of snackos in your face. Is she ever in a good mood, I wonder? What's that? Some kind of headset earpiece. Why would someone need this in the hallway? She doesn't care about much, does she? Maybe Lamira's bodyguard dropped it? Emma! Will you stop eating those snacks for 1 second and listen? Ha! If you think you're going to pull me away from my snacks just to hear you mumbling on and on about whatever, you're going to be sorely disappointed. At least I got her to stop munching. What's that odd-looking doll doing there? Oh! That's a blue badger. Could you try either talking or munching, but not both? Katonk. She hit me with a snack. Serves me right for going out of my way. Sorry, I don't speak snackos. Come to think of it, I am a little thirsty. I'll have some tea. I think I'll get the water. I'll have tea. If you want tea so bad, go buy it yourself. She snagged me. I'll take a tea. Okay. A governor's guilty as charged tour poster. They're plastered all over the place, it's annoying. Well, this is a concert venue, it makes sense. Why? Everyone here is already here, why advertise to them? People like to see the poster at the concert, it's part of the experience. You have to find fault with everything I say. She snagged me. That's a pretty sturdy looking box there. Maybe it's an instrument case? There's a guitar next to it. Don't even think about taking that. I don't think I could even carry it. She snagged me. Okay. Sounds like a waste if you love them so much. To be throwing them around like this. So this is La Miroir's dressing room. If you even think about going in there, I'll... What was that? Was that a gunshot? Something's going on. You! Out of my way! Emma! La Miroir! La Miroir! It's not locked. I'm going in. What's that awful noise? Oh, it's a concert. It's La Miroir's manager, Mr. What's his name? Latouze! Oh no! Hey, you! Me? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? And don't touch anything, I'll be right back. That's gonna be hard to resist. What's going on? I just talked to him, and now... He's alive. Mr. Latouze, can you hear me? Shot. I was shot. Yeah, I guess so. Who? Who shot you? I don't know. Ask. Ask. Ask what? Ask witness. Witness? There was a witness? Who? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouze. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Siren, I think, is what you have to say. Mr. Latouze! Yipes! Emma? What was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. I could have sworn I heard a door close. The concert's been cancelled. Backup's on its way. It's Mr. Latouze. He's dead, isn't he? That's terrible. I lost him. Romain Latouze. Shot. And I heard his last words. The witness is the siren. Whatever that means. Siren, I suppose. Yeah, siren. Backstage hallway. The venue's locked down. We took names and addresses before letting the crowd go. Good work, Darian. I'll let you know if I found out anything about the victim. Later. It's investigation time then. Yeah, Fraulein Detective? I don't need some rock and rolling prosecutor to tell me that. One request I must make. Tell no one, on staff or otherwise, anything of this. Oh, a gag order! No word gets out, other than that Mr. Latouze is dead. No word of the cause of death, or of the murder. Tell no one, not even La Miroir, not even her. We must keep everything under wraps. Oh, one other thing. I'll need your signature on this, Forehead. Yours too, Fraulein. On that? An investigation request. Why just us? You two are civilians. It's standard procedure. That should be okay to sign, I think. Signed, Prosecutor Gavin's investigation request. Right, well, get started with the investigation. I'm on it already. There was something in my cup. Oh, and one tip for you. Huh? Me? Try not to get in the Fraulein Detective's way. She's in a foul mood today. Gee, I wonder why. We were all questioned as witnesses, and now none of us can go home. We'll investigate, alright, our way. Somehow I don't see us getting back to that crime scene anytime soon. I still can't believe I was there when it happened. Not an experience I care to repeat anytime soon. This is no time for navel gazing. Let's crack this case. I worry about Trucy. She seems to have a very loose idea of what it means to be an attorney. Of course, that's not surprising considering who her father is. Something the matter? No. Let's get cracking. I'm the only one who was there. The only one who heard Mr. Latouse's last words. The witness is Siren. First order of business is to find out what he meant by siren. Well, okay. Let's save at least up to this point. Stage. Dressing room. I wonder about what I'm gonna find on stage. In the wings. The stage looks empty. I was hoping to get a chance to talk to Prosecutor Gavin. Ah well, nothing to do but go to the crime scene, I guess. But I want to examine the scene. Just in case. Wow, that piano looks much bigger close up. Machi played so beautifully. Yeah, like a real pianist. That's just silly, Apollo. How can you call someone as good as Machi a pianist? Why, that's like throwing him in the same class as Daddy. Good thing Mr. Wright didn't hear that one. All these electronic devices. I'm guessing they have something to do with sound. Why guess when we can fiddle? Let's see here. Don't touch that. A healthy curiosity is the key to a good investigation. When in doubt, fiddle. That's what Daddy always says. They should require parental testing clearly. Now that's a big instrument case. That's a case for a contrabass, I think. You could fit 20 violins in there, I bet. It may look like a violin, but it's a completely different instrument. You could fit 5 Trucies in there, I bet. Hey, are you comparing me to an instrument? I wonder who left it sitting open like that. What's that? A ladder? I guess they need one to work on the lights and such. Why don't they use a stepladder? I prefer stepladders, really. Is that so wrong? Not wrong, just, well, why do you prefer stepladders? They're so much more flexible than plain old ladders. I prefer my ladders rigid and stable, thank you. Okay. What a big stage. It's on a whole other scale than the Wonder Bar. The lights were so bright I couldn't see the whole first part of the concert. I'd love to do my act on a stage like this someday. Just hold back on the lights for my eyes' sake, please. You'll be too blinded by my magic to worry about lights. You probably don't want to blind the audience if you plan on showing them magic. Yeah, okay, it's the same thing. There's a mic. Over there. Nah, it considers it as part of the piano. Okay. No, okay, well, fair enough. Let's leave. Oh, there's a drum set, I guess. Nah, okay. Let's move. I've probably seen everything I needed to see anyway. Let's check out their dressing room again before inspecting the scene of the crime. Huh, looks like nobody's here. Prosecutor Gavin's probably busy with the case too. No rest for the wicked. No rest for us either, Apollo. Let's get rocking. Rock. Has something changed since last time we were in? No, hold on. Is there anything new? No, that I had already seen. I can't really spot anything new. Yeah, there's a flashlight here. What's with the pictures or something? Look, it's a postcard. What are these letters at the bottom? I've never seen these before. It must be our native tongue. Borginese? Oh, okay. Borginese. Postcard added to the court record. Sunglasses? I know, okay. They react to the gloves. I bet it's gonna be the guitar, even though I'm pointing at the... Yeah, okay, well, never mind. I was gonna say the filing cabinet, that's what it looks like to me. Oh no, it's a fridge. Oh, my bad. Okay. When it's so pixelated, so low resolution, because it's a Nintendo DS game, it's kinda hard to make out the finer details. Oh, it's you. I figured you'd come. You have to let us investigate the scene, please. You're attorneys, no? Shouldn't you wait until you have a client? The twos did tell me to ask the witness, the siren. With his dying breath, no less. Doesn't that count? Glare at me all you want, you'll get no snacks from me. Please! Think of poor Lamiroir. Oh, well, I suppose. You did find the body with me. Great, let's get to it. Right. Just try not to touch anything. She's letting us look, and she's not munching her snacks. This bodes well. There are clues here. I can feel it. Leave no hanger unhung, no spot unspotted. Something on the ground here in front of the fridge. Oh, what a pretty brooch. Oh, Emma? You're not going to say, "Can I have it, please," are you? Oh, look, you may be a cute little girl of 15, but that doesn't get you any special treatment with me. Oh, it's not healthy to envy the young, Emma. It's not about envy, it's about tampering with evidence. Note to self, Emma lacks a sense of humor. Use caution. You need to learn to respect your elders a little. Something seems so familiar about that brooch. Well, wasn't that being worn by La Miroir? We have a fridge, what looks like a recycle bin. Are these bullet holes? Looks like it. There are two here in the wall. From the look of it, the victim was shot once in the shoulder. The first shot must have missed. But there are two holes. Wouldn't that mean two misses? The murder weapon is a .45 caliber revolver. It's very powerful. I believe what we're seeing here is the mark left by the second bullet after it passed through his shoulder. Ouch. Sounds painful. No kidding. I wonder about this murder weapon. A speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Yes, I seem to recall it being loud and vaguely musical. It made it hard to hear Mr. Latouse's last words. Isn't that a stepladder? Huh, another ladder. Actually, it's technically a stepladder. Well, hello, Miss Fancy Pants. Please forgive my lack of ladder discrimination. I'm less worried about the stepladder and more worried about why it's there. Why is the ladder there? Well, to climb, right? To reach something on the ceiling? I bet the gun is in that ventilation system on the ceiling. I still say it's a stepladder. What's wrong, Apollo? Your mouth is catching flies. Nothing, it's nothing. Maybe that's how the killer escaped. That's what you were thinking, right? No. I was thinking that's probably where the murder weapon was hidden. When we arrived on the scene, the killer had already fled. He or she must have had a way out. And that air vent is one possibility. But it's much too small. Not if the killer were about your size, Trucy. I didn't do it! I was cutting up the dance floor at the time, thank you. I know, of course I don't think you did it. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? There's another Gaviner's poster here. I'm just about sick of seeing those personally. Maybe I'll tear it down. Aha! No tampering with the crime scene, Emma. Maybe there's something else I can tear to shreds. Don't look at me. What's this poster? Let's see. This summer, Illegal Eagles, production of Case Closed. Looks like a poster for a different show. One I wouldn't mind seeing real soon. Apollo! Look at that thing. It's huge. That's a TV. Yeah, a white flat screen TV. I want one of those. You'll be wanting for a long time on your salary, Junior. Wait till you're as famous as Mr. Wright was, then dream. I don't think Daddy was ever rich, even when he was in law. Great, just stomp on my dreams, why don't you? But I don't know that Rosberg, or whatever his name was, from the first trilogy of games, he seemed well off, and he was a defense attorney. Or I guess he had a... like... how do you call it? Like a group, like an office full of different lawyers. Well, whatever. A law firm. There we go. A law firm. That's probably why he was rich. Huh, another ladder. Actually, it's technically a step ladder. Yeah, right, okay. I was looking at the thing that was on the armchair. Oh, Apollo, can I heat some of those, please? Absolutely not. I know, but still, I yearn. Look, you're not the only one eyeing that fruit here. Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's eat. Right. Whoa, stop it, are you too crazy? Emma, you of all people should know better. But she tempted me, she's a temptress. Please, grow up. Well, on that side of the room, that seems to be about everything. The brooch on the floor. Okay. Seeing these mirrors lined up like that makes me think I'm really in a dressing room. You are in a dressing room. This must be makeup. I've never heard of most of these brands. Maybe they're Borginian? Wait, the brooch looks like the one that she's wearing, come to think of it. Well, a little. Just a little. Well, I haven't got a clue, and I thought that those are. Okay. Presents? Look at all these presents. Namiwa sure is popular. Oh, I wonder what's inside. We can't open them, can we? Probably not a good idea. You never know what you might find in one of these boxes. Bombs, razors, ransom notes. It could be anything. I'm never having a birthday party again. Seeing these mirrors lined up like that makes me think I'm really in a dressing room. You are in... no, okay. I was looking at the turned over stool over there. The upturned stool, sorry. Look, there's a little window over here. Maybe the killer escaped through that. It's barely big enough for me to get my head through. Not to mention, it only opens a crack. What? I was just saying it's possible. Right, no harm in that. Except, I'm pretty sure it is impossible. You could peek into the room through it though, you know? What's that, the murder weapon? This is the murder weapon, isn't it? This revolver. That's right, a big 45 caliber revolver. Wow, I wonder who brought this in here. I thought only police were allowed to have one of those. Why are you giving me that look? I didn't do it. I didn't. Listen, I was out in the hall eating snackoos when it happened. I know. No one here thinks you did it, Emma. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Wait, if the killer brought a revolver, it must mean they had planned this from the start. That's right? Well, she's right. Premeditated. I was looking at the guitar case, but whatever. Let's see, there's a hairdryer. Ah! I wish I could tell at least what I'm about to examine. What an amazing bouquet. I mean, it's giant. Not sure I approve. It'd be better if this flower was a bit more... Oh! The flower fell off. What happened to preserving the crime scene, Emma? It's fine. I'll just put it back, see? How scientific. What's that thing? This is one of those, things, right? At the barber's? A permanent dryer. Want me to curl those bangs of yours? No thanks. Better not mess with his hair, Emma. It's part of his identity, you know? You might start forgetting who he is, otherwise. Yeah, okay, that's the same thing. Should we have a closer look at the victim now? That's a body, isn't it? Sure is, the victim no less. Let's take a closer look. Go ahead, Apollo, you first. Me? No, you should go first, Trucy, really. Will you two stop bickering and get over here? She's munching on snackoos again. I hope she's not too annoyed. Did he try to write something down? Is that blood? Why don't you examine this one, Apollo? You know more about rat stuff than I do, yep. Says who? Something is strange about this blood, though. Is that what it looks like? Now, okay. I thought maybe they would give another explanation after examining it a second time, but... What's that? Apollo, look at this hand. He's holding something. Hey, no touching. You can throw all the snacks at me you'd like, Emma, but sooner or later, you're going to run out of them. You raise a good point. I'm a bit intrigued by this scene. Let's take a look. Ah, see there? He's holding something. What's this? A keyring. You think it might belong to the killer? Certainly a possibility. What an unusual keyring, and what unusual keys. This could be a vital clue. Keyring added to the court record. Well, he's not holding anything anymore. I wonder what it could mean. It must mean something. It doesn't look like the kind Mr. Latus would use. So the question is, whose keyring is it? Well, you're practically a detective there, Apollo. Practically. I'm glad it brings them so much joy to mock me. Seems like there's nothing else I can investigate. The hand and the blood splotches. Traces or whatever. Let's talk to her maybe, or present some of the pieces of evidence we've not taken but spotted. Sorry, I can't comment on anything not scientifically relevant. I'm a forensic scientist after all, a self-styled one at least. So this is the murder weapon. This revolver is incredibly heavy. It's been fired twice. You can still smell the gunpowder. That's odd. What's odd? Oh, nothing. Hey, no fair, tell us. It's just something about this revolver seems strange. Strange? Yikes, don't point that thing at me. Don't worry, I'm an old hand with firearms. I have one that shoots bullets. I don't want it shooting any bullets, thank you. Not those bullets, silly. My gun shoots bullets, the magic cat. A cat? Comes out of a gun? I can tell by your expression you've never heard of that trick. It's a great one. Honestly, that one sounds halfway interesting. Yeah, well, the ladies are usually cute in those games. They know how to make them cute. While I was looking inside the nozzle, she said something was weird about the gun. The middle of the weapon is a revolving chamber. That's where you load the bullets. A revolver, see? Revolver, revolver. That sounds a bit like Wonder Bar. Especially if you say it really fast. I guess. You know what I always used to think? I used to think the closest sound to Wonder Bar was one liver. There's just so many words in the world, Apollo. Isn't it amazing? So many different words, so many different people. People like Trucy. Okay. She said something was odd about it. Okay then, back. Let's try with the keys. Now, okay, she has nothing to say on the matter. Let's talk then. Mr. Romain Latouze, wasn't it? He was Lemiroir's manager and interpreter, apparently. This was his first time in the country. So I'm guessing he didn't know many people here. It doesn't seem likely, nor can I think of anyone with a motive to murder him. Except for one person, of course. One person? Who? Lemiroir. No one here might have had a motive, but she's from... What are you talking about? Hey, it was Emma's idea. I said nothing. Always with my snacks. He's a big man, or was. I don't think even I would win in a fight with him. Which is why whoever it was used a revolver, I'm guessing. We've sent a request to the Borginian embassy for more info on him. Well, you and I know more about the crime than anyone. You do? That's true. It was us who found the body. What? I guess that's what I missed for watching the concert. Hey, I wish I was watching the concert. Anything would be better than this. Well, we know the crime took place during the concert, and when we heard the shot and entered the room, the killer was already gone. What? But that doesn't make sense. You came in when you heard the shot and no one was here? How did they leave the room? That window is a little too small, isn't it? The mystery of the disappearing killer. What do you think about this revolver? Well, it's pretty big and heavy. That's right, it's a .45 caliber. That makes it one of the deadliest revolvers around. Even the police don't carry guns this big. Really? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You don't need so much power to kill at such close range. It's overkill. And maybe they used whatever they had on hand. Maybe they could not procure another one. I'm not sure I see the problem. I mean, whenever I go out to eat curry, I order it extra spicy just to be sure it's spicy. Of course, I can only ever eat one or two bites. And that's not a problem. There's another thing about a gun this big. It puts a lot of strain on the shooter. Strain? Yeah, say, if you were to fire this revolver, the recoil would probably dislocate your shoulder. Ouch! It's like the shooter is a victim too? Yet the killer used this revolver and quite well. I'm guessing whoever did it was used to shooting. Used to shooting a high caliber weapon. Well, that's about it. I think we've looked at just about everything there is. I guess you're right. I know how you're feeling. It's hard to know when to stop. But anything more involved has to wait until the squad gets here. I suppose. I'll go report the evidence. Sorry, but could you wait here till I get back? Huh? Oh, actually we have to... Great, thanks. And then she leaves. She left. What do we do, Apollo? She told us to wait. Great, now how am I supposed to investigate? Oh, well, I guess it can't be helped. Let's go. Huh? Go? Time's a wasting, Apollo. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Well, that's true, but... On second thought, why not? I'm sure everything will be fine. Of course it will. Let's go. Alright, everything I've done so far, I don't want to lose that progress. I still want to look at that air vent. If Emma and I came in through the door, that makes that vent the only exit from the room. But it's much too small. Not if the killer were about your size, Trucy. I'm thinking the pianist might not be the blind kid that he pretends to be. Because with his size, he might have been able to. She's 40. Singer lauded as the siren of the ballad from the tiny country of Borginia. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Let's try moving somewhere else then. Who's this? Looks like a magician too. We didn't just imagine that, did we? He was wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours? Hardly! Whoever that was, he sure looked suspicious. He didn't go into one of the rooms, right? What, he's not here? Let's try the stage. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Achtung! You ain't kidding. It's the two leading members of the Gaviners, Apollo. Claviers on vocals and Darian on guitar. They're so cool. I have a hard time thinking of Claviers as anything but a prosecutor, honestly. Huh? What are they arguing about? Probably the case, I'd bet. My hug won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burned to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? Hey man, don't blame me. You were the one who missed the cue. Me? Miss a cue? How could I conceivably get the most important part of that song wrong? How? And what was all that tinny playing of yours? Who are you calling tinny? Sounds like they're having a spat. One of those differences in musical direction bands are always splitting up over. Oasis, anyone? This is hardly the time. What are you two doing here? Hiya. We were just discussing the investigation, if you don't mind. Sorry, wait, you were what? Listen, you need to confirm that with the Republic of Borginia, Detective Crescent. Right, anything else? What did you just call him? Detective? Ah, greetings. Oh wait, that's his hair? From the front, it didn't look that way. Darian Crescent, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. Hello? Criminal Affairs? Apollo, you really don't know anything about the Governors, do you? Something tells me that's about to be remedied. About the crime. Which crime do you mean? The murder, what else? Oh, that. For me today has been a hit parade of crimes, you see. Prosecutor Gavin was singing the blues earlier, wasn't he? Something about his hog and his guitar case. Anyway, I'm afraid you know more about the killing of Mr. Latuz than I do. For now, at least. Huh? You were the one who found the body, yeah? While we were in the middle of a performance, no less. Aren't you going to examine the crime scene, Prosecutor Gavin? I'll leave that to Fraulein Detective. We don't want to step on our toes. They're not exactly best buddies, are they? Emma and Prosecutor Gavin, I mean. Well, what to do next? We've already checked out the scene. Prosecutor Gavin may be right. We might be the most informed for once. Maybe Prosecutor Gavin can shed some light on things we found. I don't believe you, Apollo. How can you come to this concert and not know about the Gaviners? Or Gaviners, or whatever. It's not surprising. Why, even our ancestors knew nothing of America's existence once. I know America exists. The Gaviners aren't just an average rock band, Apollo. Each member is connected to the police somehow. The police? The real police. By day they pack heat, but by night they heat up the stage. By day those lips interrogate, by night they sing songs of unrequited passion. Okay. They debuted 7 years ago with 13 years Hard Time for Love. Then came Love with No Chance of Parole and My Boyfriend is the Prosecution's Witness. The list of hits goes on and on. This here's my right-hand man, Darian Crescent. I make the melodies and he attacks them with his guitar. He's a bit of a rogue, really. And this guy is a bit of a perfectionist. When a performance goes the least bit wrong, he goes into this funk, just like today. I'd hope murder would be a bit more off-putting than a ruined concert. The concert today? A disaster. I'll get to the bottom of this, and then we'll see who missed the cue. The missed cue, they were arguing about that before. Great, I love nothing more than questioning tormented artists. No, not that one. Ah, come on, this is long. Okay. What's this missed cue you keep talking about? Aha, you heard it, didn't you, from the audience? Actually, I didn't notice anything. See, no amateur is going to pick up on that. Can you guarantee an entire audience of amateurs? No. Now take a listen to this. What's that? A mixing board. We used it to record our concert tonight. Aren't we supposed to be investigating a murder? Well, we've come this far, might as well go all the way. I've always wanted to learn about the recording industry. Guilty love? This is but one of the devices used in the recordings. I'm tired. This lets us record each member's performance separately. Use the sliders to adjust the volume for each part. Check it out. Wow, neat. So could you say hear only the drum part? Of course, that's how we'll find the criminal guilty of missing his cue tonight. I'm more concerned with the other criminal, the one who kills people. You want help on the case? Then help me with mine. I guess rock and roll comes before prosecuting. Let's begin. First, we're bringing up the part of the performance in question. You simply choose the selection of the song you wish to hear on the bottommost bar. Like so. There it is, now listen. Something wrong? You couldn't hear it? Listen again, closely. I couldn't tell. You see? There, right at the most important part. And even an amateur can hear it. An amateur with a mixing board, maybe. You're missing the point. We'll never stamp out crime until we're perfect. Perfect! Here he goes again. Right, Herr Amateur. You will prove my point. Huh? Me? You will find the missed cue. You will tell us which instrument, which part is the guilty party. But how? Did I not just explain it? Use these sliders to adjust the volume for each part. Then you will find the part that hopelessly bungles the cue. You'll find it, with your untrained amateur ears. Nothing to do but try, Apollo, I guess. I'll admit, this looks kind of fun. First, a quick review. Use the sliders to adjust the volumes. Press the selection of the song you wish to hear on the bottom bar. Sliders on the bar, got it? Once you've found the guilty part, press the corresponding number. Time to rock. That sounds difficult. I really can't tell. That's the bass, this one. That sounds normal to me. Yeah, something is wrong there. I'd say this one is wrong. This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah! It was you, Darian. It sounded wrong indeed, yeah, at the end. Ah, well, looks like the cat's out of the bag. Ah, well, that's all you have to say? That kind of attitude lets killers walk free, Darian. It's true what he says, though. Without turning off the volume of all the other tracks, I wouldn't have noticed. Here they go again. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to ask about the concert. It's starting to feel like we're just wasting time. It's all experience under our belts. That can't be bad. Mixing board added to the court record. I still can't get over the title for that song. Guilty Love? Stoic types. The sort that never complains how wrong I was. I was wondering if you knew anything about this. Does it look familiar? Familiar? It's mine. That's my keyring. Where did I find this again? The keys. They were in the hand of the victim. I've been looking all over for it. What? This is yours, Mr. Gaiman? I knew it. Apollo, how can you make that I knew it face? This is the keyring that was... Yeah, I know. Thanks anyway. So, where did you find it? Actually, the victim was holding it. Like he was trying to keep it from the killer. It meant his life. Even if it meant his life. What? The victim? You mean Mr. Latu's at my keys? Indeed. When will my trials be over? Speaking of trials, I've never heard Mr. Gavin whine in court like you has been today. Emma was right about the fop. I'll give her that. Apollo! Mr. Gavin, maybe we can help. Tell us about your troubles today. I really don't think that's... Tell us. And we'll keep mum about the keyring for now. Are you blackmailing me, Fraulein? I was wondering about this. Sorry, but I'm not in the mood? Okay. Talk, maybe? And there we go. You were saying something about your motorcycle not starting. And something about your guitar case being busted. You're well informed. You mentioned it a few times. It all happened this morning. It's all this keyring's fault. Keyring? It's got all my keys on it, yeah? My bike key, my car key, and the key to my guitar case. Wait, so this keyring... It disappeared. I thought I put it in my jacket pocket. Prosecutor Gavin's keyring disappeared? I had to come to the concert by taxi. How embarrassing. And in order to get my guitar out, I had to break the lock. Wait, this guitar wasn't the one that... The very one. Up in flames. And right on stage too. So whoever set the guitar to burn, like set it up so that it would burst into flames during the concert, is probably the same person who stole the keys, tampered with the guitar, and then locked the guitar back in, perhaps. I actually thought that was part of the show. Crazy. And to top it off, Mr. Latu's life was taken. Nobody told me about days like these. Strange days indeed. You think? What's wrong, Trucy? Well, I was just trying to make sense of everything. First, this heart-shaped keyring gets stolen. Then a very expensive guitar flares up on stage. Then Mr. Latu's dies. Yes, and? Could it already be just a coincidence? I think it's all connected. Otherwise, we wouldn't be exposed to those things. Coincidence, meaning... Darian, can you make any sense of all this? Hey, don't look at me. What do you think, Apollo? I mean, either Mr. Gavin's having a really bad day, or all this was planned. You aren't thinking what I think you are thinking. Are you, Fraulein? I am. What? What? Hey, don't leave me in the dark with Spike here. The name's Apollo, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave us in the dark. What are you talking about? Haven't you noticed a connection, Apollo? A curious connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles today? Well... I hadn't noticed. But let's pretend I have. You know, something was bugging me too. That keyring and the guitar and the body. Slow down there, Polly. You look a wee bit dizzy. He's bluffing. He hasn't figured it out. Fess up. If you're a man, you're as clueless as I am. Huh? No, give her forehead a chance. Let's see your evidence of the connection, shall we? Evidence? I'd better think of something proto. Come on, let's see it. What's the connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles? Her? It all comes back to her. Probably. The connection is this, right? I would say you were close, but really, you're kinda far. Remote even. Oops, try not to anger Trucy, Apollo. No sudden motions, just find that evidence slowly. The lyrics? It's this, isn't it? A lyrics sheet? The guitar serenade? What's that got to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Though I wouldn't have believed it if the Fraulein hadn't pointed it out. What are you talking about, man? Enough with the riddles! Maybe it is a coincidence, or perhaps it means something. Don't you think, Fraulein? I do. Everything that's happened to Mr. Gibbon today is predicted in the lyrics to this song. What? No way. Oops, sorry. Hold on. We've already been there. Just a sec. Let's list them in the order that they occurred. While reading this lyrics sheet, first the keyring was stolen, and not just any keyring, a heart-shaped keyring. That's right here. When you stole away the keys my heart held on to so tight. This is a heart holding keys, and next is guitar burst into flames. Burning on in my heart, fire burned my love away. And then Mr. Latouze was killed. Like a bullet of love, fire take my life away. But that's crazy! Yeah, no kidding. So everything that happened today here, this song predicted it all? Or perhaps it was the other way around. Huh? The criminal could have based his crime on the lyrics. But who would go through all that trouble? Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you've stumbled upon something quite vital. And quite annoying, Fraulein. Hehe. She looks pleased. The lyrics predicting the crime. Clavier? She seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me. I have to agree. The keyring, the guitar, and the murder. The keyring might have been dropped by accident, yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think that it wasn't connected. That's true. Prosecutor Gavins as calm and collected as ever. So the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics? That sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? While we think about that, I'm going to get cracking on the biggest crime here. I'm going to talk to the Borginian embassy about this Mr. Latouze. Ah, right, thanks, Darian. I'll leave the pondering of mysteries to you. I'm out of here. A foreign national, Mr. Latouze was killed. It seems like that would have to be the point of all this. But they did more than that. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery. Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today. Maybe this is the real Prosecutor Gavin we don't get to see in the courtroom. I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourselves, yeah? Yeah, I guess this is all we're going to get from Prosecutor Gavin. That leaves La Miroir to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where La Miroir is now? Ah, I had her go to my dressing room, with that pianist, Machi Tobai, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latouze's sudden passing. The Gaviner's dressing room, got it. Okay. Whoops. Got something in my eye, it's really annoying. This guy again. Eek! Who's there? Disappeared again. There he goes again. Who's that guy? Huh? Trucy? You know, he did look sort of familiar. So he is a friend of yours? No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember. Curiouser and curiouser. Gaviner's dressing room. Ah, La Miroir. What? What has happened? I heard that Mr. Latouze has died. La Miroir, you speak? I mean, you speak English? Ah, yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Borginia, but I am not Borginian by birth. But wasn't Mr. Latouze your interpreter? Ah, that, yes, well, it was Mr. Latouze's idea. He thought it would add to the mystery, you see. Then your pianist is also... No, Machi Tobai is Borginian. He does not speak English. Now please tell me, what has happened to Mr. Latouze? Why did he... Actually, Mr. Latuz was... Trucy. Huh? Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said. Not a word. But Mr. Latuz is Lamarwar's manager. That's not fair to her. I mean, isn't she a related party? Precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I suspect. All we have been told is to wait here in this room. It is very unsettling. And I only know this now, but you can see through our veil. I'm sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Do you think I could ask you some questions? Of course, I am always willing to help. Jesus, calm as she looked on stage. I can't put my finger on why, but I like this La Miroir. What is it, Machi? What? But you'd be alone. What seems to be the problem? Machi, he is not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be alright? Sure, of course. Very well, what is it you wish to ask me about? Yourself? The Republic of Borginia, that's in Northern Europe, right? I've never even heard of it. I started out singing in a restaurant, then a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am. You don't say. You know, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant. Producers tend to look for talent, Trucy. La Miroir, you're not from Borginia originally? Were you born here? Well... Oh, is that supposed to be a secret? Image is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Ah, yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Borginese in public. Image is important, I guess. She's not all image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound. A painter in what? She travels the world, turning the sights she sees into music. That's the secret to your music's beauty, right? You're very perceptive. Oh, I use your songs all the time in my stage act. I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I? Actually, you do. You should have kept your mouth shut about that. Stop while you're ahead, Trucy. This landscape painter in sound too is an image, yet without it my songs would not be so widely heard. They even call you the siren of the ballad, right? Yes, in Borginese, La Miroir means the siren. Oh, okay. Because it sounds more like a mirror to me, but okay. I fear that perhaps already I am not the siren I once was. Your pianist, Machi, was it? He's cute, like a porcelain doll. He's very European. What's that supposed to mean? I met him while singing in restaurants in Borginia. He is an orphan, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me. It's like a fairy tale almost. I noticed he hardly leaves your side. Yes, well, he is blind. At first I hesitated at dragging him across the world. He doesn't speak English either, does he? He had never left Borginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Machi and I together are La Miroir, together always. Mr. Latuz was my new manager. New? Yes, from 3 months ago. Around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. I met Mr. Latuz at my office. He was to be my manager and bodyguard. And as it turned out, my interpreter. Interpreter, even though you speak English. Yes, but we were to visit more places than just here. We had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one, though I fear that may have to be cancelled now. Was Mr. Latuz from the Republic of Borginia too? Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him, and now I shall never know. No one will even tell me why he has died. I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin said we weren't to talk to anyone. Mr. Latuz was a talented man. The siren of the ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I am happy for him that it has become so well known. The siren. That's what he meant. Huh? Apollo? You are the siren, right, La Miroir? That is the meaning of my name in Borginese, yes. It was the name my producer gave me, but why do you ask? It's very important. I had to know for sure if the siren was you. What do you mean important? I'll tell you. You deserve to know. His last words. siren. It turns out that's a very important word in this case. How? When we found Mr. Latouche, he was still alive. What? I heard him say something. His last words. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Ask witness. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. Is it Siren? Really? I was the only one there to hear it, but I'm sure that's what he said. Mr. Latouche said that? Asked the witness. And you're the Siren La Miroir. Did you see what happened? La Miroir? Might I ask, are you with the police? Eh? Well, no, I'm a defense attorney. An attorney? Yet there have been no arrests, yes? Is that a problem? Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think. But La Miroir, I am sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I am afraid you lack the authority to ask them. Ah, why? She witnessed the crime, why won't she tell us? I believe we are through here. I believe so. What about that here piece? I mean, it's in the middle of the hallway. Ah, no, examine. What's that? It looks like some kind of future phone. Not a phone, a transceiver. It's called a headset. What's a headset doing on the floor? Wait, do you think Mr. Latouche might have been wearing it? Like one of those bodyguards? I don't think he was wearing one when we first met. The LED on this thing is lit. It must be on. I can't pick it up? Okay, well, same lines of dialogue. There's not many places I can go. Fruits. Champagne. Can I eat some of those, please? Better not. Emma will find out. Somehow she will. How could you eat those without telling me? Make sure to leave some for her to eat too. I don't think that's the issue here. Hold on. I didn't mean to... Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything new that I can see. What do I do? Or do I have to show her something? Maybe. Because she's the... did I pick the wrong one? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, my bad. Governor's... dressing room, okay. Would you mind taking a look at this La Miroir? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to say. I wish I could help you. Ah, don't worry about it. Certainly one of the most pleasant refusals I've had. Oh, the lyrics. I had to ask her about the lyrics. Ah, she's not gonna react to it. Oh, the brooch. It might be hers. I have to ask. That reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you? My brooch? Yes. Well, it may be mine. Yours, La Miroir? I was wearing a brooch earlier, you see. I must have lost it. Well, that explains the brooch we found, but it's... it's our dressing room. I mean, I found it in our dressing room. That's not, like, out of the ordinary. It doesn't really mean anything. Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it. So this brooch belongs to her. That begs the question. Is something wrong, Apollo? What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? Okay, not gonna have a look at my badge. I've showed her everything, I think. Or should I have a closer look? Sort of pin fastener for attaching things to clothes, not the safety pin type though. Is it a danger pin? I suppose if you stuck it in your eye, then yeah, sure, but you could do that with a safety pin too, for that matter. Thanks for taking the fun out of my danger pin. Oh, you're driving a danger pin through my heart here. There's a key that looks like a guitar. There are 3 keys on this heart-shaped keyring, and this guitar-shaped key was the key to the guitar case. Wasn't he saying he had to break his case because he couldn't get it unlocked? I could open a lock like that in 10 seconds easy. You should have given me a call. So he could slap handcuffs on you after you opened it. Handcuffs, 20 seconds stops. I'm glad she's on my side. Yeah, it seems like it's just that key. That one key that I could have a look at. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with this. Okay. Now I'm at a bit of a loss. Let's try moving again. Backstage hallway. Ah, something new. Ah, my stylus! There we go. Yeah, with the Wii U you only get one, so you don't want to go losing it. At least with the original DS you had 2 in the box. I managed to lose the first one though. Wow, who's there now? Ah, it's you. Where were you? Ah, Emma. Is something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual. You bet something's wrong. The impossible has happened. Ah, it's all your fault, you know? Oops, maybe this is about us leaving the crime scene. What do you mean by impossible? Well, it's gone. Utterly gone. The murder weapon, I bet. The body, stupid. What else? Eh? Mr. Latuz's body has disappeared. What? That's the first. The dead body disappearing. Ah, Prosecutor Gavin. From your vacant stare, I gather you've heard the news. I heard Mr. Latuz's body has gone missing. Look for yourself. Quite the pickle. Quite the pickle. How can you just stand there? We have to start the There's no need for alarm, Fraulein Detective. All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building, so I suggest we go find ourselves a cadaver. There will be plenty of time to ponder the whys later. Well, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin. Oh, we'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this. How could Mr. Latuz's body just disappear? Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching. Hey, I don't know if this is exactly the right time, but... Yes, Darian? See, Geeter has gone missing. It was in the dressing room. Geeter? Who's Geeter? That's what I call my guitar, you like, man? Your guitar was stolen? This hasn't been a good day for guitars or guitars. Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds that guitar, please bring it to our dressing room. Guitar's like a missing person, not lost and found, man. Well, this sure is what did you call it? A sausage? No, wait, it was a pickle. And it's your pickle. I told you to stay in the room. Sorry, not much else I can say. It's alright. Top priority now is finding that body. You can make it up to me later. 10 bags or so of chocolate snackus should do the trick nicely. You should watch your sugar intake, Emma. Well, yeah, the body is gone. It stands out by its absence. There should be a body here, but there's not. How could this have happened, and why? I picked the same one again. Gaviners. Wait, she's not here anymore? La Miroir. Stage. Does something seem different to you, Apollo? Something is definitely different here. What's that back there? A big thing. Was that thing here before? That stage there must have been lowered before. That's the tower that La Miroir and Prosecutor Gavin were singing on. Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about that ladder there against the wall? We could use that to take a look up too. Maybe we should get Emma. What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves. Not so good with heights. Stop whining and start climbing. It didn't look that high from below, really. But when we got to the top, I felt every one of those 20 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there. We found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find. The body, guitar in hand, and the pianist, Machi Tobaye. Tobaye? Right, anything agency. Wow, that concert last night sure went south in a hurry. No kidding. Why did they arrest Machi? Why? Don't look at me like it's my fault. Machi Tobaye, the blind pianist. Arrested on suspicion of murdering Romain Latouche. Can't believe such a cute little boy could do something so horrible. I guess they had proof of some kind. What proof could possibly prove that? Morning. Prosecutor Gavin? What night, eh? I apologize for being so upset. Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why did they arrest Machi? Why? Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me too. We performed together that night after all. Yet? The powers that be say that, given the circumstances, it could only have been him. What do you mean by the circumstances? La Miroir was invited from Bordinia as an ambassador of goodwill. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the powers that be wants, really. Well, those are circumstances, alright, but what makes Machi the only possible suspect? Your forehead. You seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution, the enemy. Ah, right. I think I like the side of Prosecutor Gavin better, actually. I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case. Especially not to the defense attorney. What? Did you just say me, the defense attorney? That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services. He? You mean Machi? Machi wants me? This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo. Let's get going. Huh. Right. Good luck. I'm off to question La Memoire. Right. Later. I hope I'm up to this. He doesn't speak English. Without an interpreter, how am I going to even understand him? Well, I just don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so horrible. You said that already. Machi, everything's going to be okay. We're here for you. Hi. Maybe you can tell me about last night? Huh? That was when I realized how tough it must be, a little kid like this, in a country so far from everything he's ever known. Maybe Lammerwar can help? But didn't Prosecutor Gavin say she was with him? Yeah, he did say that indeed. Well, what are we going to do? That's, a good question. I can't think of anything we can do but go with this. And hope for the best at the trial tomorrow. To be continued. Well... Court is now in session for, how do I say that? Machitobaye, Your Honor, the pixie of the arpeggio. Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-okay, Herr Judge. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. Ah, my opening statement, yeah? No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Yes? Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? Eh? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son. Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with a most terrible disease. It doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement briefly. You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Latouze, age 35. The global manager for Diva Songstress La Miroir. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. Latouze's autopsy report added to the court record. 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse considering. Crime photo added to the court record. 2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit. I see. The court accepts this evidence. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible! Exactly, this murder was impossible. For all but one person. One person? That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobaye. Only this defendant could have committed the crime, but how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Very well, I assume you have a testimony to back up this claim. Let the witness please take the stand. It's gonna be Emma Sky, I suppose. Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know? I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. It was lucky the detective was the first on the scene, but that door was the only way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Well, the first thing I want to press on would be, how is she so sure that this is the... Yeah, how did you determine this? How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack. And I was standing in front of that door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There was only one possibility, the air vent. Ah. But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through. Not me. The only one who could fit through was a child. Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. Yeah, but I did remember hearing a sound after I entered the room. So I kind of feel like the killer, or whoever that was still in the room and left while Emma went back outside to get the backup, as she said. And while I was looking at the body of the victim. There was a noise. So they may have been hiding inside the room. And of all the people involved in the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant, the pixie of the arpeggio, flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture. Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, Air Forehead. And there is another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened. Wait, what? And something else was found quite clearly. The defendant matched Tobias' fingerprints. What? Order! 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 That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Herr Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience, so this was his decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I know the circumstances under which the body was found. I was there. An examination of the crime scene was enough to nail down the killer. I'm sure they have a good reason. They must have had a good reason to arrest Machi, and I'm going to find out what it was. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was a detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert, my thoughts exactly, but orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor gave in? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say, the stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? What, isn't it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor gave in if your keys were in the victim's hand. That makes you a prime suspect. Ha! What, he was on stage. So he has a pretty good alibi. Love, slow acting and new, Atraquinin is waiting for you. He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen, so I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see, I can accept that. What I can't? What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, the testimony. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Ah, hey, no snacking at court. And you're sure the shots came from Lemiroir's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet. Katonk. Ah, thanks. So, how about it, Emma? We were right, there. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please, either talk or eat, not both at the same time. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right, when we went into the dressing room. Music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stage into the backstage through the speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Gaviners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walk in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. Decisive. I never know how to pronounce that one, I'm sorry. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. It can't be over already! Very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence, the prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it had better be clear and plain. Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We'd better come up with something quick. I know. Think. What can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that... Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it, and so soon. I'm gonna save. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof. Call a witness? Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Because that's not what the victim said. Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor, and on my million-seller hit song Atra Queen in My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Oh ho, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge of the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive. Mr. Latuz, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness, you're cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latuz. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what Herr Forehead says he says. He said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. But it's the truth, he said it. I even told you about it, but apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution, I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. Her. Reading out loud like this makes me so thirsty. Recall Mr. Latuz's last words. The witness is Siren. The siren. Aha! He meant the siren. That's right, the siren of the ballad. La Miroir. La Miroir was only on stage shot for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, prosecutor gave in. My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well, let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show La Miroir to the witness stand. La Miroir would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind. You can speak English? Yes I can, though I am not very good. There is much I do not know. You speak so well. Have you spent time here before? Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. What does she mean she doesn't know? I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? La Miroir suffers from amnesia. Amnesia? La Miroir is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Wow, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As loaded singer La Miroir, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success, yet I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. I care surprisingly little about people's past. You have nothing to fear in this court, La Miroir. Thank you, yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness? What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. La Miroir, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify, yet that young gentleman with the white forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. Where were you at the time of the murder then? I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying. And come to think of it, something is bothering me. Did she have the brooch on during the concert? Because we certainly did find it backstage in the same room where the murder took place. So if she had it on herself during the concert, then she's lying and she went backstage after the second act. I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got better. Apollo, way to go. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. Lemberoy wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Hmm. This is what interests me. Uh, hold it. That didn't work. Hold it. Thanks. You did not return backstage once. Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And was Machi with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi for Machi. Well, hold on. Because I think she had the brooch on for the concert. I don't remember the FMV of the concert sequence, but I think she had the brooch on her. And I found it backstage, so that would mean that she went to the room where the murder took place after the second act and before the murder. So she's lying there. I'm sorry, Lamiroir, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lamiroir's. She was wearing it for a song. Ah, there we go. Well, he just said it himself. I don't even need the information out of her. Care to add that to the testimony prosecutor gave in? Ah, exactly. Because she did not say that. This brooch was found after the murder took place, at the very scene of the crime. What? Lamiroir, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as prosecutor gave it has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. What is the meaning of this, Lamiroir? Please explain. Lamiroir? She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not going to work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? I don't know. In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. But she just lied about it! Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right, when the incident occurred. Ah, is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Alright, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Soda-Twos, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way. The witness is Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? You look like Apollo. I need more hair to put on an Apollo face. Yipes, Emma? What was that? Who's there? But wait, wasn't the brooch there on the grounds before? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. I could have sworn I heard a door close. I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you. So this was when your brooch dropped. That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Her forehead. She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Her forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ugh! I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lamiroir, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. Hold it! A wall? Was there a wall there? A is what in English? A division or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room divided into two halves. And the murder took place in the inside half. I guess that partition might have hidden the body. I have access to my bracelet power. And if I have to use it somewhere, it has to be on the one part that they added to the testimony. Her mouth stops moving on that one. Okay, I can't look at her hands. I don't know, her mouth stops moving in close-up. Is she blinking maybe at some point? Damn it, I can't spot anything. Or what, her shoulder? Her veil stops moving. That's the one thing I can That's the one thing. Yeah, well, how did she know that he was already dead? I mean, he wasn't dead at that point, so you know something more about Mr. Letooth's death than you are saying. What? I could see you're trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. Actually, that's not what I saw. I just noticed that the veil wasn't moving. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Letooth have to be shot? One moment, Lamiroir. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Letooth have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something, I knew it. Lamiroir, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Eh? How could that be? She said that nobody would have told her anything about how he died. Take this. Lamiroir contradicted her own testimony and I have evidence to prove it. Yeah, she wasn't supposed to know any details. Tell me, Lamiroir, how did you know he had been shot? Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Ah. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouze had been shot? How could you have known? Yow! Lamiroir, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Ah, now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course, all we want to know is the truth. She looks kind of pale, huh? She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouze had been shot. Is it enough? Is it enough proof? Wait. The way the door opens, the bullet holes would have been behind the door if she just opened the door, tried to have a look inside, and then when she heard the noise, she closed it back very quickly. The bullet holes would have been behind the door in the way that it opens towards the inside of the room. I think I'm onto something. Objection! Lamiroir, they call you the siren of the ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. A put-down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamiroir, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Lamiroir, yes? I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. And I must tell you what it is that I saw. Yes, the happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouze died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamiroir. Very well. Lamiroir, please continue your testimony. Very well, I shall. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. Really? There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was. So you did witness the crime, and it wasn't my client. Release him at once! And the killer was a grown person, you say? Ah, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Herr Forehead. Very well, Herr, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination. Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamiroir. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Well, that's what I'm interested in. A grown person? That's a little vague. I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know. Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female. It was a man, a young man. And you're sure of that? Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice? What did he say then if you heard his voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter. As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouze? Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouze who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man? Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi. Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where this is going. Why are they even asking me the question? It's good for me that she said it isn't Machi. Well, I'd have to say it's pretty good. Vital even. This shows that the shooter wasn't Machi. Ha! Surely you can't be serious, our forehead. Why not? La Miroir, I understand why you would want to protect Machi, yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad. And lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? Apollo, what's he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place... Do not open. That window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. What? But I'm sure... La Miroir, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. Objection! But she's the only eyewitness we have. Objection! So you say, and the victim named her the siren as the witness. That's right. That's what Mr. Latouze. We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility. And it brought us to this. Herr Judge. Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility. But if La Miroir can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence. This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case. Danke. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again. Objection! Wait, let me hear La Miroir's testimony one last time, but the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as the need arises, this witness may leave the stand. I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance. Damn it. At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Air Forehead? Grr, I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fraulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Miss Guy. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouze's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling. Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it. That air vent isn't big, very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. What if it was really the woman that opened the door very briefly to get a peek inside and closed it very quickly? Then my theory that the real killer, someone other than my client, was inside and then ran away kind of drops instantly because of that. If you accept that this is the truth. Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. You sure would, not that you would have been there in the first place though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved in the concert. But what about that magician I saw there, then? What was he doing there? And if he is a magician, couldn't he fit through the air vent or something like that? Turning himself into a cat or something? I don't know. A virtuoso performance, I couldn't have put it better myself. She does state a clear case, though reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh, what's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. The circumstances? Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. Yeah, there's that too. She's right. Why did Miss Solotuse's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. Perceptive observation, Herr Judge. Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things. The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fraulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us? Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? How would she know? I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. What? He moved the body to match Laberoir's song? No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Machi practically left his signature at the scene. Signature? All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. What signature? Laberoir's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed it's code too, did you not? It's code? All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. Yeah, first the keys my heart held on to so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Miss Solotuse's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky. That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale. I admit I'd forgotten about the song, but there it is now, waiting for me, the grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing? It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge. Very well, we've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next, the cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Missing body. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. It's the signature thing that bothers me. Hold on. Just gonna save. What signature? What do you mean by a signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? If anything, he's the only person who could not have used a 45 caliber. He's a kid. There's just way too much recoil on that thing. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. His shoulder would have been dislodged from the heavy recoil from that thing. You said it yourself. That means what exactly? That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very, assuming the shooter could properly aim. No, you can't be serious. Machi, you can't see. That's why he missed. Oh yeah, I actually forgot the fact that he is blind. It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A blind shooter. No wonder he missed. I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? Objection! I don't know where this is going, but objection. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? Yeah, that's what I said earlier. If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder. Exactly, yeah, all the more so a kid. The defendant, Machi Tobaya, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. Convincing argument, to be sure. Not in favor of my client. Stupid! Haha, take that, smirk prosecution. Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Machi being tiny? And the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it? Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Oops. Okay. Cripes, I really put my foot in it this time. But let's get the facts of the matter. The facts of the matter on the record, if you would, Fraulein Detective. Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony. Right. Okay, well, the next thing. Yeah, so this is a statement that changed. So it's probably here that I have to do something. Let's try pressing for one thing. You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se. Huh? You've merely raised a possibility. Fraulein Detective has made the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there is more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. But wait, he was blind. How would he know about the air vent in the first place? Ah, a very good point. Well, Fraulein Detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobaye. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder. But that's... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what that stepladder was doing there. Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder. No! Well, Herr Forehead? Out of ammunition, perhaps? I've never seen prosecutor given so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Do I have something that proves that the killer could see? Well, not the keys. Well, I'm not sure it's related, but you know that it almost seems like he wrote something in blood, but that someone wiped it off so that it could not be read. So I'm not sure if this is proof enough. But this is something. And looking at the rest of the... Looking at the rest of the evidence, I don't see anything else that fits the bill, so... Not the lyrics. Not the keys, not the brooch. The car keys aren't his. They belong to the prosecutor, actually. They were found in the hand of the victim. But that I don't see how that's gonna prove that... How that would prove that the murderer could see. Because that's what we're after at the moment. So, the way I imagine this, I mean it's weak. It's kind of weak as an argument. But I would argue that if the murderer saw the name written in blood on the floor, he or she would try to wipe it off, so as to like get rid of something that would be incriminating to him or her. That would take down one of the central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that though? I'm gonna save because it's weak, and in this game usually it's something much more obvious. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge, as I knew you would, Herr Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because he or she couldn't see. Therefore, Machi was blind, did it? The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see. This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene? I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that's decisively I can't read. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. I can't even pronounce or read. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. This? The contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it. Get what, Fraulein? When Mr. Latouze was shot, he tried to write something, and what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat, I just wish it wasn't all ripped out like that. Of course it's ripped out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. But that proves that the killer could see then. If he could see his name, or his or her name. Neither would I. No one has anything else to say? About what? So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer, and that the killer tried to rip the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouze was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Saw. That's the key there. Wait, once he saw what it was? But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Machi Tobaye, is blind? It couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible! Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet, up until now, it seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey Apollo, look at him! Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us. I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective. If I may. What? Tell me. Why do you think that Machi Tobaye is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's a blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Number War lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobaye. According to this, Machi Tobaye can see perfectly well. What? 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 His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Air Forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fraulein Detective. But that's a significant fact, yes. Consider, Machito Baye sees. And he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this. Ooh, plot twist! But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was a kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Ah! How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead. Yeah! What have I done? I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk. Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Oh, sorry. That's no way to apologize. He's angered Trucy now. Look out. If we can please end the bickering now. Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant. Don't say that. What? This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes. We might be able to find out what was really written here. Really? You can do that? That's right. With this. Luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Yes. Have we done those tests yet? Ha! As if I'm going to tell you. Bloodstains covered on a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Right, go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere. Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just touch the screen to spray an area. Here, give it a try. The eyes of the entire court are focused on me. Apollo, your hand's shaking. Let's do this. What's that? IP... what? IPXX 314206? That's not a murderer's name. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX 314206. I don't know what that means. Is that an IP address? Heck if I know. Is that the killer's name? Aha, I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Latouze even know a number like that? Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on! Eh? Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. What? Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent... Oh, wait, I know. What if Machi Tobaye is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility. A 14-year-old? A possibility, yes, and one that would mark him as the killer for certain. Why did Latouze know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. While we have some time while we await Darian's report, let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tobaye. What are you talking about? Fraulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until that last bit. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see? Exactly, it makes little sense. What do you think, Hair's forehead? Huh? Me? Machi Tobaye pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Note that the moment I heard that report, I knew why. I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Machi Tobaye pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness? Because of the publicity? Because they already said that before. I don't even know why they're asking me the question if that's the case. Is he on the thing? Wait, he's not. He's not on the postcard. What if it's not that? Then I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna save before because I'm not sure. It's the only thing that seems to make some kind of sense. Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means no, it couldn't be. Good show, Hair Forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well. Look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. I'm supposing here. This is La Miroir. La Miroir and Machi Tobaye. Recall their relationship, in particular their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. La Miroir and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they go on stage, she would lead him to the piano. It's for show. She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go. All times? Yet we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time? Well, wasn't it part of their performance? I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. Is it the opposite? That can only mean one thing. What? That could be the opposite? She's blind? It was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was La Miroir. What's this? So you mean to say that La Miroir is... she's... Yes, Your Honor, La Miroir is blind. What? This is crazy. Prosecutor Gavin. Is it now? Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim. The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct. But that makes no sense. Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something? That was a lie. That was just for show. Well, and since we have her here, why not ask La Miroir herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me. I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now. Bailiff, bring in La Miroir. La Miroir, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way, and yet I must. Please, do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes, she really can't see, really? It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Borginian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world. So you are, yes, as I mentioned before. I have no memory of the time before I became La Miroir. Know too that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for La Miroir. I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial. What is sight before the power of panties, I guess? I feel so disgusted with myself saying, even if it's just a joke. Hi, Jeff. It's a sight for sore eyes, that's what it is. I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Now, La Miroir, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes, of course, though I admit I'm a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. But this is a murder trial! I apologize, it was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would. She looks cool as boy. She looks cool, yeah, I agree. When she said she saw nothing. Very well, does the defense have anything to add? I'd like to cross-examine, but what is there left to ask? There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. The fact that she said that everyone on her staff knew, that would have included the victim, right? So why would he say that she is a witness then? She may have witnessed something not by sight, but by ear. I mean, that's the only explanation I have? That's the only thing I have to go on? Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. Very well, the defense may cross-examine, however, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness. Okay, there was only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy. Okay, so what? I can only ask about one thing? It's that one that bothers me most. I'm gonna save just to make sure, but I think I'm right with this. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Mitsulatuz? Of course, he was my manager. What cheating? Because I'm saving? Yeah, indeed, this game doesn't allow you to save without having to quit the game if you want to reload your save. It's more convenient to just use the Wii U Virtual Console emulator save feature. Of course, he was my manager, so he knew. And that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes? Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. Why would he say that she is a witness if he knew that she was blind? It must be something she heard, not saw. Cititus, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latus. Tell me, who was the witness? Is this attorney the last boss? I don't know. So, maybe when he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He might have been talking about the witness. Witness can't see? That would be interesting. The witness is Ren. So the Tooth told me to ask the witness and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. What do you mean you don't know it? Is it actually the first time you're playing this game? Yeah, I'm playing this blind. Well, I mean, funny, considering the context. But yeah, I'm playing this for the first time, yeah. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There is no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more. The witness, siren? We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not what I refer. Not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Can't see. Yeah. That's right, he tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. Respect +1, that was a great pun. Not an intended one. I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's another pun, if you want. Too bad the defense did not. Well, Herr Forehead, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. I see. And looking at the facts. Come on. Hey, she's right there and you're making fun of her handicap. Please, guys, have some respect. Please, come on. Recall Lamirwar's earlier testimony. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that. That is not the most important point here. The moment it was shot, Miss Tolotuz witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course. What if it wasn't closed? How do you know that it was closed at that moment? But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant. Your Honor. What is it, bailiff? Can't you hear we're in session here? Oh, maybe we have the result of the Interpol ID number. We have the results back from the investigation. The investigation? The Interpol number that Mr. Latouze left us. Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescent, your report, please. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian. Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent? IPXX 314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouze. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouze himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity, and a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Latouze was an undercover Interpol agent, so him being Lamirwar's manager was just a cover most likely. There was one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouze. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's got to tie in somehow, would you think? Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Hold it! Wait! Lamirwar, is something the matter? Did she recognize the voice of that man? That voice just now. Darian? Mr. Darian, is it? It was him! I am sure of it! It was him? You aren't saying. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouze. When I heard the gunshots fired. It was him! It was Mr. Darian! Is this some kind of a joke? What? No way. Wasn't he on stage? At that time? How is that possible? courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. Lameroir fingering Darian Crescent. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lameroir heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it. Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo. To be continued. It feels like I should stop here for tonight. It's getting late anyway. I would only be able to play for like 10, maybe 15 minutes tops more, so it's probably best that I stop here because it's a good spot to do so. I'm sorry, but I just noticed my Wii U is absolutely not set to the right time, actually, come to think of it. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to, I'm afraid. But anyway, oh, okay. Um, yeah, about that. I can't stream tomorrow night because my family is invited for dinner over at someone's house, so I will be out the whole evening tomorrow, and I can't stream in the afternoon either. So there won't be a stream tomorrow, exceptionally. So I should be back on Thursday then in the evening, kind of like tonight then, like kind of the same time to start. That would be like 7 p.m. my time. So yeah, that's simply the same time as usual for the most part. Well, I hope anyway, unless something else comes up. But tomorrow was already off. Having a family in 2019 overrated. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah. So I'll be off then, and we will be continuing the third case of the game. That's the third out of four, by the way. There are four cases in the game, and this is the third. It's supposed to be quite long, and the one after this one is supposed to be quite long too. So we're not quite done yet. There should be a few more streams still before we're done with this game. So thanks for watching. Take care, and then see you. Well, not tomorrow, but the day after then. Hope you have a great time. Looking forward to the next stream. Okay, Jeff. Yeah, I hope to see you then too. Then, and that you will be able to make it then. See you guys and take care.